I request all participants to place your right hand on the heart. We are now playing ICI.
सुप्तेषु जागर्ति तदेव शुक्रम् तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः सर्वे तदूनाद्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Now I request Chairman Ahmedabad branch, CA Harit Dariwal, to give opening remarks.
Thank you, Vishen Bhai. A very respected faculty for today's session. CA Vinay ji, who has joined us from Bengaluru, CA ji, who has joined us from Mumbai, and all the other panelists, Pooja. I don't know. Yeah, now it's okay. There's some net issue here. Yeah, so to all the respected faculties for RERA who have joined us today, I think it's a wonderful session today. I think we will definitely get to know much more about the states, how RERA practitioners are practicing there, because we have studied about GUJRERA since last 4 days. Now it's very important for us to know how, let's say, MahaRERA, or for that matter, even Karnataka, how RERA is shaping there. So with that objective, we have invited two very important guests today. And I'm sure first the deliberation of half an hour each, wherein they will explain and maybe take you through the RERA provisions in their particular state, which are the rules in their particular state. And after that, we are going to keep it open for some question answers. We have a wonderful panel discussion lined up, so we have prepared a few questions. And in case you also have any questions, you can put in the questions in the chat box, and we'll discuss that. Just one announcement before I invite the speakers to speak today. The direct text refresher course, which we discussed on the first day, we have got a very good response. We are now going to close it soon. So in case you want to register for this direct text refresher course at Mumbai, starting from 22nd of October, do it at the earliest. The early bird has been extended, so you can register at 13,500 plus GST. And air tickets also, we have a special package of 4,400 as a return ticket for the group booking. So you can register for the same. With this, I once again thank both the speakers today who are taking their sparing their valuable time for us. And now request Vishen Bhai to take the session forward.
Thank you, sir, for your insights, and knew that RRC of direct text, because even I received calls from the Bombay of the friends, and they are saying that it's a tremendous, wonderful faculties which has been lined up, and they are very much keen to join the RRC also. Now coming to the panel discussion, as Chairman Sir said, first Venuji will give us insight. Vinayji will give us insight about southern states RERA provisions, and then Rameshji, and then we will have some questions and we'll discuss on the same. So first, it gives me a pleasure to introduce CA Vinayji to the participants. Vinayji is a practicing chartered accountant since 20 years. Is in the practice the RERA since 2016. I can say that since the inception, and is a partner of Venu and Vinay Associates at Bangalore. Sir, we really pleased to have you on this forum, and I'm sure that with you we will be able to know the provisions in all the southern states of India, say Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. And if I miss something, then definitely, Vinay sir, you can enlighten us on those states provision. So welcome, sir, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a screen share? Can I get a share option? Can I get a share option, sir?
Shahzad bhai?
You are
Yeah.
co-host, you can share the screen.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
yes,
you
sir,
can
yes,
share,
sir, yes,
you
sir.
can share.
Yeah, yeah. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Bishan ji, and also Ahmedabad branch of WIERC of ICAI, inviting for me to be part of this session on RERA. It's I presume it's a 5-day session, and today is the last day. And it's very much honored to be with Ramesh Prabhu, sir. Like sir is like a RERA guru, I can say, like what we call as a tax guru in some blogs. Ramesh sir is a RERA guru, and under his leadership, many things have changed in terms of the practices, in terms of the procedure, in terms of the understanding under RERA. As recent as about a weeks back, I'll just share you to the members present here. As recent as 1 week back, we have about few chartered accountants under leadership of Ramesh sir. We all had an online session in terms of improvising the RERA certificates, professional certificates, because what we have, the professional certificates were drawn early in 2017. Now, based on our present requirement, understanding, so the new set of formats should be implemented from state-wise. That's what is a recent update of the Ramesh sir leadership. And just 15 days back or 1 month back, we have seen Gujarat RERA has come out with publishing of the RERA manual, and again with the leadership of Ramesh sir. About 1.5 months back, we have seen Maharashtra RERA manual, which is launched. See, these are all the something which is happening under the leadership of Ramesh sir, number one. Second, as a professionals are also very much excited and also motivated to be part of this journey. And I'm sure that many of the professionals from Gujarat also are part of this journey. And I'm sure that the participants are here have taken many aspects under RERA in last 4 days of this session. And I'm also honored to be here as part of today's speaker. And it's motivating me, like month on month or maybe every 2 months, Ahmedabad branch is hosting a session on RERA. That means to that extent, there is an opportunity for the professionals. We are seeing the opportunities in other areas are coming down, like income tax, it becomes a faceless. So our interest in terms of the various aspects has come down. GST has become more of a reconciliation tool rather than anything. And other aspects of Companies Act has become much more complicated. However, the scenarios of the business is not changing. However, this RERA has made a very huge impact on every aspects of it. I will share you the different view about it, and also my journey with the RERA and also my practices. As Bishanji is mentioned, I am from southern part of Bangalore. For northern people, always southern part is called always a Madrasi, irrespective of which state we live. So I'm from Bengaluru, Karnataka, IT capital city of India. So today's session, maybe I'll talk about 20-25 minutes before I hand it over to the Ramesh sir, and then we'll take up all your question and answer sessions, and I'll try to give our best of our ability to the participants here. This is what I would like to share with the participants here. This is what is an interesting story, interesting topic. This is as recent as 25th September 2021. As we all know that, also you learned in last 4 days that this being the central act, and it's a mandate of the central government to implement the RERA by all the state and as well as the union territories. As recent as West Bengal, they had their own law, West Bengal HERA. The Supreme Court has struck down. It cannot be a parallel act when there is a central act. So West Bengal is also under the central government RERA. And the best part of this is like central government, they have the housing scheme, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, PMAY. It's a pet project of the Pradhan Mantri to have a shelter for every family. So they are making it a compulsory that unless the projects are registered under RERA, the scheme and the benefits are not extended. Mean to say that like most of the projects now should cover under RERA, except maybe some of the plotted developments where knowingly or unknowingly people are avoiding for a registration. Otherwise, friends, most of the projects now under the radar of the RERA, under the regulation of the RERA, under the reporting of the RERA, under monitoring of RERA. So this is what is the very important aspect. Why I'm sharing is this is where is the which drives our profession also, which drives our interest in terms of practicing RERA, which drives our requirement for us as a professionals to take up this as a profession, as a career, and as a practice also. So on the screen, you can see as many as states, 30 states and UTs have implemented, including Jammu and Kashmir. Imagine a Jammu and Kashmir has made this statute is active. So however, authorities are not in place, but however, the act and the rules are in place. Of course, we have some certain challenge in the eastern state where even though there is a presence of RERA, but because of the land related laws, there are challenges. Otherwise, their states also have active participation in this. And except Haryana, most of the states has one regulatory authority, wherein Haryana has two. One is in Panchkul and one is other is Gurugram. So this is what is a big picture pan India. This is the 25th September 2021 data, which is announced by Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. Across India, we have about 74,596 cases that the complaint were disposed by the authority. That is a pan India. And also there are about 69,000, close to 70,000 projects, real estate projects are there in the state across India. And we have also agent registration. Hope friends, you also heard through the speakers in last 4 days, section 9 and 10 deals with the agents and also channel partners and the brokers. We have about 55,375 agents registrations. That means to say that this industry is going to be a more disciplined and more committed industry compared to the earlier practices. What is so far Gujarat? What is happened? What is so far? What is the share of the Gujarat? If you see that Gujarat have about 2,863 complaints which are disposed by the authority. That means they are in the sixth position in terms of the complaints which are filed by the allottees in the project. About 9,027 real estate project. I should appreciate the Gujarat standing stood at second place after Maharashtra in terms of the project registration. My biggest congratulations to the professionals who practice and made this happen. 9,027 after Maharashtra, Gujarat is the second highest state which have achieved this project and driving to a 10,000 number of projects. And agent registration again in the 7th position, 1,690 is what is that number of agents which is there in the Gujarat. So having said that, what does that mean for a professional as a chartered accountant for me to excite and motivate me to read more about this topic, motivate me to learn about this topic? Do I have opportunity? Do have the opportunity in practicing this? And if so, is it only a CS certificates? I'll explain you in a subsequent slide what is my experience with RERA in last 5 years. The 9,027 project registration turns out to be a 36,969, about 37 or 36,000 CA certificates annually. What does that mean? Like every quarter, a minimum one certificate. A project should have one certificate every quarter. So the 4 quarters will amounting to about 36,000 CA certificates in an annum. Who can issue? We as a professionals can only issue this certificate. Nobody else can issue this certificate. This is an opportunity. This is where we play an important role. What does that mean? Also, again, there is an annual audit of accounts, RERA annual audit of accounts, like mandatory, all these project. Of course, I'm not, I'm just, we have to eliminate the completed project. I'm just taking at the bigger picture of 9,027 entire projects I'm considering. Maybe you have to eliminate about 20-30% of the project as completed. Otherwise, all the projects which are all running, which is not completed, mandatorily should have an annual accounts under RERA. Mean to say that either me or you or any of our friends, professional friends, are doing this audit and submitting this. And I'm again inspired by the Gujarat RERA, where the compliance level is 96%, where in other states, Karnataka, we have about 50 to 55% in terms of the quarterly update or a professional certificate. I appreciate the Gujarat RERA's effort in terms of bringing the 96% in terms of the compliance. I'm sure that all the professionals plays a very vital and important role in terms of achieving that 96%. My biggest congratulations to all the professionals, which also includes, what does that mean? There is a project registration application, agent registration application, change request, maybe a bank account, survey number, address, promoter, or project name, anything which require a change request, one should file an application before RERA to make that happen. Then the periodical compliances, it may be a quarterly filing or annually audit, and also a completion filing. I'm sure Gujarat has a robust system of filing a completion application for the promoter to go out from the project. Friends, what does that mean? Say an example, if an average billing per project is a 1 lakh rupees, this amounting to 90 crore rupees as a revenue to our professional. This is what is RERA is for Gujarat. Maybe I'm putting the 1 lakh as a minimum. I'm sure that many of the professional may difference this is, sir, 1 lakh is too less, sir. What we are getting is more than this, sir. So if it is 2 lakh, it's about 180 crores, 3 lakh means about 270 crores. This is what the opportunity the RERA has created for a professionals, that to a chartered accountant. Apart from that, maybe other professions like engineer, architect, and the legal professionals also gain the importance under this, and they get their share of their cake in terms of their profession also. This I need not to explain that the RERA started in 2009 and implemented in 2017. We are in the year of 2021, about 4 years already it is completed. We are in the 5th year of our journey into the RERA. This is a very important and very, I like this slide very much. Wherever I present, generally I put this slide and I keep talking on this slide, maybe a 1 hour, 2 hours, depends on the interest of the participants. But in the interest of the time what we have now, I'll just touch upon the very aspects of it. Entire RERA is captured in this slide, and it may be a, what I meant is, it starts from the registration, it ends with the completion and also a post completion. So section 3 to section 8 plays a very important role from a registration to revocation. The registration, and then the 5 talks about the issuance of register. 3 start with the mandate, 4 with the application, 5 with the registration, 6 with the extension, 7 with the revocation, and 8 would be takeover. That is the life cycle about a project under RERA in terms of the section 3 to 8. Friends, we as a professionals plays a very vital throughout this section, and very important for us to understand and also advise the clients accordingly based on their practice, based on their learnings. And also other aspects which is also a need a attention, need a much more interaction and intervention by the professionals also, which is of advertisement. We all know various cases. You must have heard in last 4 days about the penalties levied by the authorities for non-adherence of advertisement guidelines, or maybe the veracity of the advertisement under section 12. So this is what is important as a professionals should understand, also advise the client accordingly, which also goes about the modification, section 14, section 15 is about transfer, 9 and 10 about the agent, and 13 about agreement for sale. And this is a very important aspects under RERA. Like every professional has to, if you are practicing on the real estate under RERA, one should know in depth about it to advise the client for their benefit and also for the bigger compliance. And we all know that section 4 to LD you must have dealt or in the previous session about the 70-30 ratios and 70-30 in terms of the financial compliances, and which is a heart and soul of entire RERA section 4 to LD. And also, as I mentioned, that we always see the RERA is only a regulation. We always experience RERA only is there for a regulation. Friends, if that is the case, this act name should have been Real Estate Regulation Act. However, there is a one more word is called Development, Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016. That means to say the authority, the government has a responsibility in terms of developing this industry. That is called Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, especially a section 32, where the authorities has a bigger role to play in terms of advising to the government in the interest of the real estate industry, in the interest of the real estate development. It may be a single window concept, it may be for the purpose of FDI, it may be for the purpose of taxation, or anything in terms of a planning approvals, anything this authority has a role to play and has a power in terms of recommending to the government in terms of improvising the activities or development of real estate industry, like a SEBI, like a RBI, like a IRDA, like a TRAI for insurance, and IRDA for insurance. Okay, for a telecom it's a TRAI. For real estate it's called RERA. However, friends, there is one difference for those regulators versus RERA. Those are the central regulators, where RERA is a state regulator, state body to regulate this. I also have a reason for that. In the subsequent slide, I will explain about that also. And you know that the ultimate aspects of it is the efficient, transparent, and responsible for both the promoter as well as the allottees and also entire stakeholders in the ecosystem for the better outcome of this. And ultimately, there is a mechanism which is inbuilt in terms of dispute redressal mechanism of adjudicating, appellate we have, and also we have conciliation disputes. The mean to say that like one need not to go to a remedy under the civil code post RERA, come to a RERA, you get your justice, you get your faster dispute redressal mechanism, and maybe about 60 days or 120 days in case of a tribunal, also including versus civil case goes year on year, where I do not have any hope of getting a final order. So with this, like as a professional, what I'm trying to say is, as a profession, there are a lot of opportunities for us to make use of it, and that will come out of one's interest, one's practice in this. As we all know that, like, unless I know, I can't expect a business. Unless I get a business, if I don't learn, that should not be a way to look at. You have a knowledge, I'm sure that clients will come automatically under this. Friends, as I told you, maybe as I introduced by the speakers, one of the important aspect I would like to share with you in terms of other states' practices, maybe in Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana. TS means Telangana, TN means Tamil Nadu, AP means Andhra Pradesh, and West Bengal means WB West Bengal. These are all the 6 states apart from Maharashtra. I have a fair idea about it. These are the 6 states I practice actively through our branches or through associates. So one of the important aspect is most of the states have implemented the RERA in its truest spirit, except there is a small adjustment in terms of the ongoing project. You all know what is the definition of an ongoing project by virtue of section 3(1) proviso. The ongoing is a project where it did not received, where the project doesn't have a completion certificate as on 1/5/2017 is called an ongoing project. Ongoing project is mandatorily to be registered under RERA. However, little tweak has been done, depends on the industry, depends on how industry could influence the minister or the uh, um, while drafting these rules. That's how it has been done also. Karnataka, even though they defined the ongoing project, but the challenge which happened in Karnataka is the ongoing definition is which is equivalent to Haryana RERA. However, the which has come out with a very strong definition of an ongoing project rather than simplify it. So Karnataka is very stronger than the Central Act in terms of the ongoing project definition. Kerala, which adopted the central government, only what central government says 1/5/2017. If you have it, please come. Otherwise, don't come. Tamil Nadu also same concept. If you have received the occupancy certificate as on 1/5/2017 or a completion certificate, otherwise don't come. But Telangana has a approach, different approach. It says that any plan obtained or a sanction plan obtained as on 1/1/2017 on or after 1/1/2017 come to RERA. Any plan approval prior to 1/1/2017 don't come. So don't get into RERA unless you have a plan sanction as on 1/1/2017. This is the first thing where the Telangana has restricted or may not encouraged to the promoter to get into the RERA. Similarly, Andhra Pradesh also, Andhra Pradesh, they say that in case of a apartment project or a building project, if all the slabs are casted, don't come into RERA. Otherwise, you come into the RERA. You know, you all may be aware of the West Bengal history. They has brought the West Bengal HERA. However, in May 2021, Supreme Court has struck down West Bengal HERA. No more state legislation for the in place of a RERA. So central government RERA is in place now. So West Bengal should also follow it. However, now RERA, West Bengal RERA rules are notified in the month of July, and government is in a government is now identifying or invited the chairman and the members to fill up the position and to make the authority active. So this is what is in terms of the registration aspect, and which are the project which is liable for registration under RERA in a southern states. Apart from that, remaining aspects of a registration, the extension, the modification, and the completion, and the compliances is of no change, because which are driven by the Central Act. As a from the since a student days, we all know that rules cannot expand the Act. Rules shall work within the ambit of the Act. So Act is a central government act, and rules cannot go beyond, travel beyond the Act. So most of the states have the similar provision which has adopted by even the Gujarat RERA also. There is no much difference. Maybe few states have 7 days as a quarterly compliance from the end of the half year, sorry, end of the month, and few states has 15 days, either 7 days or 15 days is the from the end of each quarter as the quarterly update filing. That is what is the one more difference which I have in terms of the quarterly compliance. And half yearly, I do not have anything. Act has prescribed that within 6 months from the end of the financial year is the time which I have to furnish my audit report, obtain the audit report. What Act section 42LD proviso 3 talks about is obtaining the audit report within 6 months from the end of the financial year. However, submission is as per the regulation or as per the notification of the state, but obtaining is important. Like it's my tax audit report should be obtained, but the filing will happen subsequently also. Similarly, generally the practice is along with the September quarterly update, my annual audit also required to be filed with the quarterly update. That is what is a practice in most of the states they have adopted. I hope the similar practice is there in also Gujarat. One more, a very unique concept the Gujarat RERA has implemented in terms of the capturing of the information while filing the quarterly update. And I congratulate again Gujarat RERA being the first state and only state having the information to be captured in absolute number, not by way of a scanned document. That means the data is available with the Gujarat RERA authorities at all point of time for the purpose of analysis, for the purpose of monitoring, for the purpose of regulation of it. That's the good part of it. I am also aware that Gujarat also gives login to the professional members to update their information and also approve it. It's a very good welcome move. And very few states has the option of a chartered accountant login. Otherwise, we issue the certificate. Take the certificate, scan it, and upload into the website of the RERA. That is what is most of the states follow the system of it. Apart from few states still have a follow the system of collecting the application manually, like Tamil Nadu collect the application manually. Otherwise, most of the states have made it's an online application progress. And I would like to place it on record. Karnataka RERA, it's 100% digitization. There is no single paper is also admitted or accepted throughout the process, except for the purpose of appeal or the adjudication mechanism. There is no papers are accepted through the compliances, either the registration till the completion. Everything has to go through the different modules, which is developed by Karnataka RERA and which is mandatory for the authority to process through the application itself. With that, there is an elimination of the physical document movement, physical file movement, or maybe inserting some papers in the file and doing something which is completely not permitted, and by way of implementing a robust system of online application. This is also one of the important. This gives the advantage for the professional to sit anywhere in the state, sit anywhere in the country, do your practice. And with this, like, one need not to travel to the authority office which is there in the state capital and deliver the services and save the time of traveling or meeting or waiting for the authorities at their offices. This is a broader different practices of other states RERA. Of course, we have a same quarterly compliances. We have annual audits, and also the submission of other modification, like whatever you have, like a banking account direction. Even also we have a similar banking account directions, banking account regulations. Also, we have the concept of completion of the project. I also congratulate Gujarat, like they have gone to an extent of formation of an association, update the association document, registration number, hand over the money to the association members, stating that I'm handing over the corpus to that. And that is not exist in any other state except in the Gujarat. I congratulate for that also. It's in a very advanced, and also it's achieving real objective and intent of the RERA. Maybe this would be the one point for other states also. Look at how they can say that the project is completed in all aspects. Friends, you all know that project completion doesn't mean it is just receipt of a completion certificate. Completion certificate would be issued by some planning authority stating that project is completed or constructed in accordance with the plan they've sanctioned. Beyond that, many aspects are there as a part of the real estate project. Say an example, promoter has promised to deliver a clubhouse. Inside the clubhouse, amenities, a swimming pool, a play area, a walking track, a big arch, a fountain, a compound, dedicated car parking, mechanized car parking, and a supermarket, a ATM station. See, these are all may not be part of your plan sanction. Plan sanction comes with the particular standard and particular specification, and beyond that, many things would have been promised by the promoter, and unless those are completed, unless those are all delivered, the project is not completed in all aspects. That is what, as a professional, we should advise to the client. Mean to say that whatever you promise it to the customer, unless you complete that, that is not a concept of completion under RERA. Mere receipt of completion certificate doesn't qualify and doesn't make you to move out from the RERA. That is what is the important aspect of it. So a little journey about myself, as Bishanji has mentioned that 2002 is my practice, qualified and practice. I'm always passionate about real estate laws. And my journey started with RERA since 2016. And till now, I have given about more than 170 sessions on RERA across India. Actively participate in various states, apart from the southern state, West Bengal, and also to certain extent Maharashtra. And for me, it's every day is a learning under RERA. This being the new statute, even though it's a 4.5 years, every day there is a new learning. As recent as new learning of Bombay High Court stating that if the projects are not under RERA, then authority doesn't have a jurisdiction to hear the cases. And also a recent judgment of Tribunal of Kerala RERA talks about something. Even though authority exists as on 1/1/2020, but the act is there in 1/5/2017. Authority shall register the project for the period from 1/5/2017. So every day is a learning. Every day is a new thing for us to learn under this act. It is not a settled one. It is just started its wings. It's just started its expansion in terms of its implementation. A long way to go. Like a RERA will become like a SEBI, RERA will become like a IRDA. That is what is the potential. If you imagine 1994 or somewhere 91, SEBI has come, we are almost about 25 years plus. So it took 25 years for any regulator to do something. Similarly for a RERA also, it may not be as too long. What we have seen is about 4 years. Another 4 years, you can see entire change in terms of the business, the real estate business itself, entire change, how the professional advice to their clients also. And maybe a couple of slides of my next, I will show you in terms of how it changes the business itself. Every day, it's a very wonderful piece of legislation. I always salute, even though it's a very small piece of legislation, about 20 pages in terms of the operational part of the act, but very beautifully drafted without leaving anything under the business. If you ask me what is not included with RERA, I say that there is nothing called no inclusion, which includes your financial management, which includes your legal management, which includes your sanction plan, revenue, NOC, legal title, which includes your how do you do sales, how do you market, how do you collect money, how do you construct, what is the quality of construction of a defect liability, how do you operationalize, how do you hand over, how do you convey your title, how do you convey your common area, and association formation, maintenance of the common area till you hand over the association. If you ask me, in any organization, if somebody wanted to understand a RERA, every department should come and meet together. They should brainstorm themselves in terms of the business itself. Otherwise, the promoter or the project will end up with having multiple challenges if they don't work together in terms of delivering what they promise. Vishanji, are you there, or somebody is there? Can you say hi to me? I do not know, like I'm just talking alone, or somebody is
No,
there.
sir. We are here and listening you carefully, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you,
And
sir. Thank you.
Since you are praising Guj RERA, it's our pleasure.
Not praising, sir. I'm just stating the facts of what Gujarat RERA has achieved, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Even though the Maharashtra stands at first place in terms of number of projects, but in terms of the robust system of the system automation, in terms of monitoring, in terms of the data, Gujarat has a much bigger one because it has implemented a software which gives entire aspects of it. As I mentioned that section 32 has a bigger picture, bigger role for the promoter, sorry, authority to play. This is what is the bigger aspects of it. The day to come, the grading of the project. You already Uttar Pradesh has invited some of the agency to come out with the parameter for the grading of project, but however, due to COVID, that might have delayed it. However, the grading of the project will gives various aspects, various views for the buyer to decide on the project itself, or a lender to invest the money, or investors to invest the money, lenders to extend their loans to them. These are very important aspects for as a professional also to understand. It is not only a regulation, it also includes the development aspect. Sir, I'll just quickly complete wrap up in next 5 minutes. As a chartered accountant, don't look this legislation as just a registration or a quarterly update. Those are all the very minuscule or very smallest part under the act. That is not a data entry operation. It's not a data entry aspects of it, sir. Every information which goes into the RERA website has its own value, needs a separate validation of each of it. So that is what important of it. A recent analysis. We also provide services under various other statutes like income tax, a GST, and the Companies Act, and also a normal audit for a partnership firm. This is what is important to match a reconciliation under RERA. It is not just a filing of some information given by the promoter. The challenge with this industry itself is books of accounts maintenance, how disciplined they are, books of accounts maintenance, how frequency in terms of their maintenance books of accounts, because RERA is a dynamic one. Every quarter you have to give a certificate, which is a factual certificate. It is not a report of opinion, it's a certificate. That means to say it's a perfect, it's a 100% perfect. It is not an opinion, it is not a report. Mean to say that I should have a clarity on what I'm giving it, and it's on a quarterly to quarterly basis. Whether a income tax, GST, which has an impact subsequently, maybe after 1 year or 2 years, where I have a opportunity to come back and correct something. RERA doesn't have that, sir, because it is not about opinion, it's about the factual representation. If the 10 apartments are sold, you give me 10 apartments are sold. If I collected 10 crore rupees, give me the 10 crore. That's all it says. That you can't say that in my opinion, they have collected 10 crore rupees. No. It is a fact that 10 crores are collected. That is what you should give it. So how do I match these things with my income tax book? As a GST, how do I match with my legal system? How I coordinating with that? My inventory data, my accounting standard in terms of percentage of completion. I've given some inventory data, some receivables data to the banker. Is that match with what I'm publishing in my RERA website? What is that authority orders, tribunal orders? Do I have, did I consider the implication on my financials on the what will be the order of the outcome in terms of the compensation? These are all the very important aspect for us to understand and apply during the audit. It is not, again, I'm just telling you, it is not about filing some piece of information to RERA on either on a project basis or at the quarterly update basis. We have a cases where department, GST and income tax department, pulling out the data from the RERA website and slapping a notices in terms of various aspects. Also, various other information would be available in the RERA website. It is not about that financial. You have a non-financial informations. Also, we start from your estimated cost, how much you estimated about 40 crores, but in the income tax, you're showing about 60 crores I have incurred. Where is the variance? How the variance has come? Do have a backup of it? This is a very important aspect of it. And also we know that quarterly update, which is a very dynamic, it is not a standalone. 3 professionals are certifying this, sir: architect, engineer, and a chartered accountant. Friends, if the 3 certificates are matching, that means to say people, professionals have not worked properly. Say an example, engineer says X, chartered accountant also says X, architect says X, that means it is not worked properly. we are not done the professional work properly. It cannot be equal at all point of time. These three professionals should have a divergent view. There should be a variance in terms of whatever be their reporting, if at all of they have really worked on while issuing the certificates. As I mentioned, that what does that mean, a completion? You should have a completion, means it's a completion of the internal development work and external development work, which again would be certified by architect and the engineer. Quarterly update, you know that various aspects should be part of it and which should be considered at all point of time. If you ask me what is there with RERA, I can say that everything is there with RERA. There is nothing left out with you without knowing that. So this is what is important. They have books of account, certificates, collected, withdraw, what is utilized, and what is that constructed, and all the professional certificates. Friends, this is the recent presentation to Mangalore branch in Karnataka. Maybe that similar slides have captured here. I had a presentation to them on the various aspects of the financial aspects. How do I reconcile my books of accounts with RERA? These are all the slides of that. For the interest of the members, I'm just presenting those things also. Cost incurred, which is also very important for us to look at all various aspects of it. Sold, unsold, stage-wise schedule of the project, schedule of payment, percentage of completion of the project. Example, for the purpose of income tax, you are given 35% percentage of completion. For the purpose of RERA, for the purpose of withdrawal, if you say 53%, there is a divergent view. Whether 35 correct or 53 correct. GST, you say some percentage, and GST here showing something else. Stage-wise schedule of the project. GST says on happening of the certain event, you have to make the payment. If you say the stage wise is completed for the purpose of withdrawal of money, GST also triggers in your GST law. So please ensure that both are tallying, both are under the same parallels. And this is a GST liability which I was talking about, and sold units versus what will be the value which you withdraw it. And also RCM, by looking at RERA information, a GST guy can pull out what is your RCM liability and what is your liability under GST for the payment of taxes. So this is what is the biggest impact of it. And once you have once you have started practicing in depth, you will have various aspects, various views in terms of not only the RERA, it's a accounting, taxation, law, practices, and as well as your other aspect statute of it, which is including your stamp duty also. And your income tax also has recognized 80 IBA, where there is a deduction or exemption of the profits, which again drives back us to the RERA. One thing we should appreciate, that any statute which is coming after RERA, which has a definition of something which is relating to the real estate, they are diverting, they are asking us to look at the definition of a RERA, whether it's a promoter, a project, a carpet area, cost, everything, whether it's a GST, income tax, any statute you take, they say that please refer the definition under RERA Act. That means to say this is the legislation is superior and also a real regulator for this industry. Reconciliation, again, I told you this is again a various reconciliations under the Act, which one need to be done before you process handover certificate, issue annual audit certificate. This is a bigger picture in terms of the practice. Friends, every act or every legislation has an opportunity, but it is up to us in terms of what I can take, what I can practice, and to what extent I can reap the benefit of it. Friends, in last 4 years, my entire practice has changed thanks to RERA, in terms of a new legislation which has given a new dimension to this industry, not only to the industry, to the professionals like us. Friends, this is the only statute which requires a certificate by a chartered accountant to take their own money. It is their money. To take their money, they need my certificate as a CA certificate. To that extent, the benefits are given, the responsibility is given to the professionals to follow it, comply with it, and also issue the certificate diligently. With this note, I'm concluding this my small session on evolving and also opportunities for the professionals under RERA. Thank you so much. Bishanji, over
Thank
to
you so much, Vinay ji. And yes, sir. Yes, we at Ahmedabad branch really feel, get motivated with those words of appreciation. And I would like to acknowledge our CCM's leadership at this point, where at Bhuj RERA, he represented all of us, CA Aniket Talati, and even chairman appreciated the work of all the chartered accountants and the fraternity at large. Sir, thank you. And now I request chairman sir to take it forward. Harit bhai.
Sir, I would request now Ramesh Prabhu sir is joined. I think he is there.
Hi.
Yes, sir. We can take his session. Then we can have the panel discussion, sir, going on.
Prabhu sir, Ramesh Prabhu sir, now you can
Yeah.
if want, we request you to start your deliberation.
Thank you, CA Harit Dariwal, of course, CA Bishan Arsha, and my co-speaker, CA Vinay Tyagraj, and all the dignitaries. It is a great pleasure to share whatever we have learned over the years with the fellow chartered accountants and, of course, professionals. And in every session, we learn so many things. And today, Vinay has nicely deliberated as to the various opportunity and how they are all interconnected. It is 360-degree, wherein we need to deliberate minutely about the real estate law. It is not that only we talk about RERA. RERA has also interconnected with other peripheral laws. So therefore, we cannot say that it is only 92 sections which we need to deliberate. There is section 88 where it says other laws are also applicable. So therefore, it gives immense opportunity for us to learn and then develop. Having said that, let me now go to the Maharashtra, as always been said as the pioneers in the implementation of RERA. Yes, the first chairman, Mr. Gautam Chatterjee, has taken a different view. What he had taken a view is, let us make as liberal as possible so that the registration will increase. The most important is in any this particular regulation is the developer, that is a promoter. If the promoter is given an opportunity to come in the ambit of RERA, that is most important. So the theme or the concept under which MARERA chairman, first MARERA chairman acted upon or took the initiative is to get more and more registration done. How that could have been done? Naturally, that could have been done by making things as simple as possible. In fact, without much documentation, even with a simple declaration, a registration was allowed. So therefore, today we have more than 30,000 projects registered with RERA. If I have to tell you the figures, out of 69,000 projects which are across India registered, as Vinay has already pointed out, we in Maharashtra has more than 30,000, which means more than 40 to 45% projects in entire India is registered in one state. And that was possible because of the easy process in the registration. Now, how was this easy process registration? The entire thing was made online. That is a beauty. Secondly, in the process of registration, there are 4 desks which has been designated. The one designation, desk number 1, talks about, whether they will just make a tick mark, whether what is required as a checklist is available or not available. If something is not available, they send it back to the promoter to get it compliant. That desk number 1 only talks about checklisting. The check document or desk number 2 talks about going in deeper as to whether all the promoters which are required to be registered, whether they are done or not done, everything is online. So one can view where the project, where the process is there. So in our login and password, we will be able to see the process happening. And of course, if there are anything related, we can always call online and get the information. The beauty is that everything was made online. That is the important thing. The second is, yes, there is only a profile of a promoter, login and password, which once you do that, the entire projects related or promoted by that particular promoter can be added. So you go on adding additional project details. There is nothing that you need to do further. Similarly, when it comes to SOPs, very importantly, lot of SOPs have been given. Now, standard operating procedure for each activity that need to be done. See, when you talk about in the registration, the one talks about registration, thereafter it comes to, compliances. Now, let me talk about registration. Registration also, there are certain things called, updating the project. After updating the project, there is something called project extension, which is under section 6 or section 7, subsection 3, or there are lapsed projects. So easy SOPs have been provided. Various SOPs help naturally the promoter to understand and update. So the compliances related to this project registration update and extension has been very simple. Now going forward, the second chairman who has come, that is Mr. Ajay Mehta, he has taken a different stand. What is the stand? Now he has tried to tighten the screw. He has gone with the little better compliances. Now Vinay Tyagaraja has rightly pointed out, Gujarat RERA has been proactive as far as compliance are concerned. Maharashtra has not been so proactive in relation to the compliances. Honestly, even today, there are no standard fees which have been prescribed for the delayed submission of compliances. In fact, the last 4 years, we have not seen if the quarterly returns are not updated or what will be the penalty. Not a single person has been levied a penalty for non-compliance. Of course, there are other penalties which have been levied for wrong advertisement or with the registration, advertisement without registration. Such penalties have been levied, but for a compliance aspect, the penalties were not levied. So to that extent, compliance has remained backward. However, the new chairman now has given importance to compliance. Now, for the first time, he has come out with the SOP, wherein now the quarterly return has to be done within 7 days. Of course, the promoters have requested them not within 7 days of the end of the quarter, it can be submitted. There are various GST returns or various TDS returns has to be complied with. So therefore, the extension of another 7 days has been demanded, which of course, MahaRERA chairman will definitely grant it. And we may find a revised SOP saying that the quarterly compliance may have to be done within 15 days. Yes, the RERA, which has been followed in Gujarat regarding means of finance, that aspect is now going to be adopted by MahaRERA. MahaRERA is also evolving, and as Vinay has rightly pointed out, in the days to come, it is going to be something like SEBI. So therefore, the practice area is going to increase. So Maharashtra compliance aspect also has started going up. Now, after having said that registration and compliance, the third aspect which comes is in Maharashtra. I'm not taking much time, but let me just say that, yes, the redressal of complaints. Now, when we look at the redressal of complaints, at RERA authority, yes, there are two layers. One is regarding the what is known as redressal of complaints before the authority. The second is before the adjudicating officer. Now that has been made online. Now, to the extent of online, you will be surprised to know that even the additional replies or explanations or rejoinders, sir rejoinders, written explanation, all this can be now a complainant or the respondent will be able to log in, upload the information, everything. The moment it is uploaded, the other person can look into it. So that flexibility has been given in RERA. Now only the challenge, if I have to tell you about the MHRERA, either authority or the adjudicating officer, is now the more than 5,000 complaints are pending. We have one member, on vacancy. It is not been filled. So having more than 5,000 complaints pending for the redressal has been a great challenge. And getting a date, now we are getting a date after about a year or 9 months. That is a big challenge. Once the hearing comes, yes, within 6 months it gets disposed of. Now, MHRERA again has taken a lead and saying that the complaint should be redressed through the reconciliation forum. MHRERA Reconciliation and Dispute Redressal Forum has been set up, where nearly 40 odd, benches, conciliation forums have been set up across Maharashtra. Of course, hearings are happening online, and the first hearing that happens in MHRERA as on today, the opportunities are given to the complainants to take it to the conciliation forum, and if that does not survive or does not get resolved, then they are asked to come back to the authority, keeping the seniority of the complaint intact. And that is where I can say at the authority level, a lot of efforts have been put. The second, yes, appellate tribunal. Honestly, Maharashtra has also been doing great work in the appellate tribunal. More than thousands of appeals have been heard. And to tell you now, in the appeal, we have two benches. And recently, this in the second bench, administrative member also has been admitted. So therefore, now we have a chairman with one judicial technical member or a administrative member, another judicial member with one administrative member. So this way, two benches are set up. And looking at the way Maharashtra as appeals have been disposed of and being heard, Goa government has given an additional charge to Maharashtra Real Estate Appellate Tribunal. So that means the person who is practicing in Maharashtra now will be able to practice for Goa state also. So recently, Maharashtra Appellate Tribunal will be hearing not only of the union territories which are there with Diu Daman and others, we are also going to listen to the appeals of Goa. Now, of course, second appeal lies with the Bombay High Court, which has the jurisdiction of Maharashtra as well as Goa. So a lot of things have been, discussed, or rather judgments have been passed. Now the question arises, what is the challenge in Maharashtra? Yes, I said the challenge is getting a date in the application or the complaints. But if at all we are able to go with the conciliation forum, and if the conciliation is failing, then going back to RERA is another good aspect there. Now, in order to get more and more compliance done, Maharashtra has taken another lead, that is about setting up of SRO, self-regulatory organization. Now, this concept has not been accepted by others, because some of the promoters have challenged this SRO concept also with the High Court. The matter has not come up for the hearing. But what is this SRO, self-regulatory organization, for the promoters? There are about 6 promoter organizations which are registered by MHRERA through a regulation. Though it is not there in the law, but it has been made, and every promoter who is registering a project is required to get a membership in SRO, and then that SRO number has to be given, and then only the project registration can happen. Of course, the projects which are registered without SROs, now at the time of quarterly update, they need to get the membership and update. Of course, the penalties have not been levied for not registering with SRO, but whenever a project extension, update, or whatever the new activity has to be done, then SRO numbers have to be compulsory put in. Now, what the purpose this SRO serves? Naturally, this SRO serves the very good purpose. The purpose is to create awareness. Create awareness and make things accept and then comply. I will tell you, I always believe in AAA. In anything, there has to be AAA. What is this AAA actions? The AAA action is first is always creating an awareness. Now, unless until something is created awareness, the appreciation does not happen. So as Vinay has rightly pointed out, our job is to create more and more awareness about the law and its implications. The more and more awareness we start creating among the people also start accepting it. And once the people start accepting it, then adoption will become easy. Unless certain people adopt it, the law will not have any stand. So that is what the SRO's job is to do. The SRO job is to create more and more awareness, make the members of the SRO to appreciate what is been happening, and then of course comply or adopt with the changes that has been proposed by the RERA. Now, as far as recently the new chairman has another thought process, which is a welcome thought process. Whenever he wants to come out with a new circular, whenever he wants to come out with new orders or guidelines, or to that effect any orders, he prepares the draft orders, he gets it circulated to the various stakeholders, take their approval or insights or the representations, try to incorporate them, and thereafter comes out with the what is known as circulars. Now, what it happens? The same thing which I have said, people start getting awareness that this is what is going to come in the way or it is in the pipeline. Secondly, people will start working from in that direction. Third, awareness is created. Then having created awareness and people give the input, that creates more of a what is known as appreciation. And once appreciated, naturally they will start adopting. So this is the logic, and I think I welcome that. And every RERA should, to that extent, should be able to adopt this methodology, which will definitely help the stakeholders to get involved. Now, again, as I was saying, that MHARERA has set up a committee. 2 separate committees have been set up. Now, what are these 2 committees are going to do? The first committee which has been set up is to revamp the agreement for sale. See, the agreement for sale which the promoters have been doing are not in line with the provisions of RERA or as to that effect rules. What are the issues where they are doing something wrong? So the promoters are involved under the chairmanship of member 1, Dr. Vijay Sabir Singh. A committee has been set up and where the various representations have been taken, and naturally in a days to come, we'll definitely look at and we'll see that new agreements format will be prescribed by MHARERA. Similarly, capacity building is the second committee which is set up for the estate agents. The estate agents, there is no pre-qualification which is required. If you want to become a promoter, at least one of the qualification is that you need to have a land, you need to purchase that land, you have to have the title of the land. Secondly, you need to get the approval. That means a lot of investments are put in. And therefore, we can say that there is a lot of skin in the game. However, as far as estate agent is concerned, there is no prescribed qualifications for the estate agent. Therefore, MHARERA has set up a committee under the chairmanship of course, our first chairman, Gautam Chatterjee. And syllabus is getting set up. Course materials are made. Then the training institute will be approved. And they have to undergo the training and they have to accept, they have to get qualified under that capacity building program. And then only they will be allowed to become an estate agent, a registered estate agent. Various compliance are given. And this is another thing. And of course, the agents who are already registered may be given another 1 year or 2 years time to get qualified, or before they renew the next registration, they have to get qualified. So these are the few things which I can say. Things are happening in Maharashtra, and the latest being 3,500 odd projects are lapsed in the year 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, of course, 21 they are not published, but around 3,300 odd last projects have been published. Now, when they are published, naturally, they are all been blacklisted, and the SOP states that the projects which have been lapsed and not done renewal of the registration, they are not allowed to sell or register the agreement. All these restrictions have been put in, and because of that, now the SRO, that is a Mumbai Developers Association, has come out with a Sahay portal. Now, what this Sahay portal does? Sahay portal allows the promoters who are stuck in the project, who wants to sell their project as a project, their name and address and the details, issues, challenges, everything is listed. It is available to the other members of the association who would like to join the project as a joint venture. And even the buyers who want to get the project, certain project, they can also log in, they can give their information, they can show their interest, so that common online platforms are made available where the people can exchange ideas, exchange information, and then they come together and resolve the stalled project. Now, this is one great initiative that has to be done. Now, only 2-3 things which I am finding across India, which is lacking, and I'm sure in the days to come that will be taken care. The first and foremost is, though the law provides that more than 51% apartments are booked naturally, they have to form an association allotee. Now, what type of association allotee can be formed? How it can be encouraged? How to get the allottees details? If the promoters do not do it, how the allottees can get it enforced? That particular thing is lacking. And what would be the role of this association allottees? And how they can monitor the project, how they can take over the project if it is lapsed, and if there are any issues, how they can make a complaint. That one clarity is not given by none or given by any of the RERA or the authorities across India. Now, we have been representing with the Maharashtra to do something which I am hopeful that in the days to come that will happen. Second, Section 17 of RERA, which provides for the transfer of common areas. When I say common area, which is talking about land and building, staircase, lift, building, terrace, everything, garden, RG, all those areas, swimming pool, amenities, to the association allotee, whether it is a housing society, whether it is any other bodies which are formed, that need to be conveyed. Now, that particular draft convenes which need to be uploaded are not getting uploaded. None of the RERAs are insisting that. I think that need to be done in a days to come, and I'm sure that will happen. With this, I would like to say that Maharashtra, being a pioneer state, and WRSO also has taken a lead. They formed an study group of 105 people, in which, of course, Vinay was there, or even Vinay is there, plus Sarthak, and many people are there. And this particular, what you call Maharashtra Law and Practice, Maharashtra RERA Law and Practice, a complete manual of 360-degree with 75 chapters, 10 parts, has been published by WRC. Of course, I was fortunate to be a part of that study group as a convener, as well as the what is known as the editor, along with me, Kaushik Sampath. We could manage to get 75 chapters, written on different aspects, touching all the peripheral laws, whether it's apartment act, but we have restricted ourselves to Maharashtra. Now we have formed another study group for Gujarat, where many of the faculties whom you are invited are already there as a study group members. And naturally, that study group maybe in another month's time or 2 months' time, we will definitely come out with Gujarat RERA law and practice, because Gujarat has been doing wonderful as far as compliance aspects are concerned. And we have already said, because there was a discussion to have combined manual, but having understood that the implementation at two levels are at two different level, Gujarat has far ahead in various compliances, and therefore we thought we should come out with a different manual so that thereafter we can come out with the comparison. Now with this, I thank you, Ahmedabad branch, especially CA Harit Dariwala, for giving me an opportunity to share what is happening in Maharashtra. Yes, some of you can be, earlier you had adopted us. Now we'll start adopting Gujarat for the excellent work that they have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Pleasure to hear you, sir, and pleasure to hear your views on MahaRERA. Now, I think from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, we have a few of them. Pooja has joined us, and Mahadev is going to join us soon. I think we are going to have a panel discussion. There are a few questions, sir. We would love to take your views as a expert panelist. Vishen is also there. Pooja and Mahadev Bhai and Manan, they are also joining us. So, sir, as you were mentioning, Ramesh Prabhu, sir, just you were mentioning about touching the other laws also. So one of the questions came that what are the auxiliary areas of practice which are directly linked to RERA practice, which we can think of?
Okay. Now see, as Vinay has already pointed out, first and foremost is we talk about 92 sections of RERA. When we talk about 92 sections, it is only talking about section 3 to 18 is related to the compliance as far as promoter is concerned. Now, if we are talking about those compliances, there are peripheral laws which is need to be also looked into. Now, when I'm talking about peripheral law, it starts with the Transfer of Property Act, Title Verification, Registration Act, Stamp Act. Now, because you have asked me, I need to make it very clear that last 31 years of my practice, now I am in the 31st year of my practice. And in all 31 years, by September, of course, I have completed 31 years. Now I am in the 32nd year of my practice. I have been doing only real estate practice. At that time, there was no RERA. If there was no RERA, how come you have been doing only real estate practice? Because there we have association of allottees, the housing societies here. Housing society come, the promoter is required under MOFA to form a housing society, which people were not forming, promoters were not forming. So there is a provision for the allottees to come together and form an association of allottees. That is a housing society, which I used to facilitate. There are people who used to become allottees. They used to come together, form a housing society. They will get a contractor appointed. They would appoint an architect, and they will collect the money and then go ahead and construct. And that is what I was facilitating. You won't believe, more than 50 housing societies where I have facilitated people to come together, form a housing society, take a land, appoint a contractor, and a project management consultancy fees I have been doing. Now, Maharashtra, we have redevelopment which is happening. Believe me, more than 10,000 housing societies are going for redevelopment. And almost all the housing societies, either one or the other aspect, they come and take the consultancy. Which developer has to be appointed? What should be the parameter to select a developer? Then what are the other compliances to be done? So project management consultancy is a big area of practice. Then we are coming to GST. There's 75 chapters, is out of that hardly 18 to 19 chapters are only dedicated to RERA, but rest of the chapters are dedicated to other area of practice. The GST, it's a huge. When I'm talking about GST, GST also has got a various aspects related to the development, whether GDA has to be done, whether the development agreement has to be done, whether AOP has to be formed, then the income tax angle. From GST, income tax angle comes. And from income tax and GST, then the RERA compliance. Thereafter, we come to know about the various issues about how the project will be registered, whether it should be phase-wise. If it is a phase-wise, then how the association allotment will be done, how the conveyance will be done, how the apex bodies will be done. So the agreement forming, the compliance part agreement, you won't believe, because you have asked me the question, I want to tell you that even the drafting of an agreement, whether it is related to the agreement for sale, whether it is an allotment letter, whether it is an advertising material, whether it is related to the conveyance, all these things we are doing. We are doing a stamp duty work, we are doing a registration work, and when the allottees are doing a resale, we are doing a resale agreement, we are doing a registration facility for them. So the ample opportunity, just to give you a figure, don't take it that I am saying something different, because if I am doing something, I need to tell you. We have 4 branches, we have more than 100 people working and doing only real estate practice, nothing beyond that. More than 100 people with 4 branches. If I am able to do, why not a person who takes, at least youngsters, who thinks that I need to look at the new area of practice? The RERA is one of the best practice, and I recommend him. If you think it is a proper platform to tell, I recommend them to buy a WRC published, Western India Regional Council Institute of Chartered Accountant published Maharashtra RERA Law and Practice. That gives a 360-degree as to what are the various area of practice, and it's absolutely fantastic. I have not touched upon other area of practice like audit, accounts, and fundraising, and helping home loans. Various things I have not said, project loans, but I have just said RERA and the peripheral is a big area of practice one has to concentrate. And the last and most important, RERA will give us a facility to do the networking. When I'm talking about networking, how that networking is possible? Networking is possible because I may be concentrating more on the CA certificate for withdrawal. Then I'm not able to do the audit. Then I need to facilitate an auditor to my own, promoter, and I will, give Vinay Tyagraj for audit. And Vinay Tyagraj, where he is doing a certification work, will give my name for audit. Thereafter, maybe Vinay Tyagraj, Ramesh Prabhu may be good in audit and certification, but we may not be good in representation before the authority. So I will then move on to another person who is chartered accountant, who is good in representing before authorities or the adjudicating officer, or who is able to appear before the appellate tribunal. So this gives a good network practice. And now having given an opportunity to do the multidisciplinary practice, I think that will further help us to concentrate and develop a practice in real estate. I can only say that if I have devoted 31 years in real estate practice, one can look at me and they can also adopt this. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, very well said, sir. We got your point, and I'm sure the members would have got their answers. You want to add something, Vinayji, to this, or I just take another question? You can come to that. Sir, while you all obviously praise Gujarat, Gujarat is doing some really good work. One notable feature that you would want to appreciate about your state RERA authority they have done, which you think should be implemented elsewhere. Would like to know that, sir.
You asked Tyagraj?
Sir, both of you.
Vinay, you can just start.
Sir, I just you mean to say that Gujarat RERA to be implemented in other states, or other states to be?
No, sir. One notable thing that the Karnataka RERA authority has done, which you would want the other states, especially Gujarat and other states, to also replicate. Something which is very noteworthy.
Acha, okay. Sir, in terms of the technology wise, Gujarat is in terms of ahead of any other state. That's what is my observation. Maybe the Madhya Pradesh, if you see that they have introduced something called Power BI. If you reach out to Maharashtra, like MP state, MP has even Gujarat has a huge data themselves, but however, in terms of the reporting aspect, which is there in the public domain, Madhya Pradesh has a better one. And in terms of the Andhra Pradesh has a better one. If you look at the Andhra Pradesh, you can go and check select the square meters project. Like the project is having less than 50 units, the project size is less than 1000 square meters. That can be chosen, selected. The more filters were given as a part of the application, which is viewed by the public. See, at the authority level, Gujarat has a very much data which they have sitting for the purpose of their analysis. But when it comes to the Karnataka, Andhra, Madhya Pradesh or AP, in terms of visibility to the public has a better one, sir. That is number one. Second, in terms of the I do not know how the authority is functioning in terms of the analysis of this data and forwarding it. I presume that Gujarat still accepts some of the physical documents. Okay.
The majority is online. Everything is online.
Yeah, not majority. Even single document, single request letter also will not be accepted in Karnataka. Just for your information. Even a small application also, small request also should go through the application itself, so that they will be responsible, they are accountable in terms of the inward of the document. Somebody should attend to it, somebody should dispose to it. Physical, absolutely, the responsibility is always a difficult. So this one thing in terms of the movement of any document for that matter, we have a robust system of the help desk. We have a robust system of taking the appointment with the secretary. See, it's very difficult to get an appointment with the secretary or any particular person. Even the appointment system is also online here in terms of the slotting. That would be the one operational wise. Otherwise, in terms of the public view, MP and AP has a better one, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Ramesh, sir, if you want to add something on this.
Yeah. I can only say that, of course, Gujarat has been doing good. But as if at all you want to adopt something of Maharashtra, I would say that yes, self-regulatory organization where facilitating people, the promoters to come together and represent the issues as a collective body. No doubt there is a CREDAI, there is a NEREDCO, there are authorities, but those authorities also should be recognized by the RERA for everything. If they can be involved, called, saying that once you get registered, the affiliation goes up, and therefore that can be adopted, self-regulatory organization. Second thing which Maharashtra has also been doing, which can be adopted, which I think is very important, is about capacity building. Now, when we talk about capacity building for the estate agent, I would say capacity building for all three stakeholders should be done. What are the three stakeholders? The first and foremost is, of course, the promoter. A promoter also need to be educated, need to be informed, and at least we have represented to Maharashtra RERA saying that you give us, certain compliance officers and train those compliance officers of the promoter so that the compliance becomes easier. The second is capacity building of the estate agents. That also has already started in Maharashtra. And the third is professionals. Now, when we talk about professionals, yes, sir, we are all professionals. We understand, we learn, we do so many things. But at the same time, what is the expectation of a regulator? What is the things? So at least once in 6 months, some certification course, which is done jointly with the authorities, also gives, and only people who have done those courses are only allowed to practice in RERA. That gives add-on, facility, and that is what we have represented, and that is what is available in Maharashtra as far as cooperative department is concerned. Unless anyone goes through these training programs, they are not allowed to get enrolled, and unless until there's a certain area of learning. Same thing, we expect and which Maharashtra may involve. They are already started for the SRO and estate agent. We want even professionals to undergo certain amount of training, which that can be adopted in Gujarat. I think that will further enhance the professionalism, because at the end of the day, the RERA is to bring standardization and the professionalism, efficiency, effectiveness. All this can happen once more and more professionals are involved and professional trainings are given. Yes, anything else?
Bishan bhai, if you have any question, I think Pooja has also joined us. Pooja, if you want to throw some light on the Gujarat RERA, since Pooja is also one of our help desk panelists. She's going to help us help desk that you recently formed at Ahmedabad branch. Thank you, Pooja, for being a part of it. You want to share something on the Gujarat RERA?
Can you hear me, Harit bhai?
Yes.
Yeah, Harit bhai, I have a few questions to ask the sirs. So,
you can go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, one, my concern is the RERA. Basically, the main motive of RERA was to protect the customers. But during the practice, I have seen that customers are not getting enough protection, and instead, builders are tortured for so many documents, give this proof, give that proofs and all, and customers are not heard about their protection rights. So if you ask that, many customers says that which is more beneficial to me, going to RERA or going to Consumer Protection Act, because RERA don't hear us. They always ask so many documents from us regarding the complaints and everything. So, we get very confused what to do, how to guide them. So can you just help me out what to do in this situation?
Okay. So let me say, yes, at the ultimate aim is to protect the interest of the consumers.
Yes.
Now, this law initially was, initiated in the year 2009
Okay.
by the central government. Prior to that, it was, the state which used to do. But unfortunately, the state adopted the Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act, where there was no regulator. Only it was more of a wish list without the redressal mechanism. For the redressal, we were required to go to consumer court or the civil court or maybe criminal court. But now that RERA has given this platform, and it started in the year 2009, and in the year 2016, almost, after about 7-8 years of deliberation, the law has come in. The law has not come in because authorities or the consumer wanted. It became because the non-compliance or the unscrupulous builders, they started taking consumers for a ride, especially in North, where the flats were sold to 3-4 people, where the take the money of the people, FIR goes up, FSI goes up, then they change the plan. 15 years, you don't get the delivery of the flat. Now, therefore, that was high time for the what is known as the government to come out with this law. So this law has come out with a huge legacy. When I say legacy, legacy of non-compliance, legacy of non-delivery, legacy of the unscrupulous developers, legacy of every unscrupulous builder who wanted to just make money out of it but not deliver.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing which was controlling them. And therefore, the promoters or rather allottees, there is a consumer expectation was that overnight we will get the solution. No, solutions are not easy, because the people who were made to go scot-free, now the regulators are trying to bring them in a particular regulatory environment. It's a huge challenge. And in the process, the consumers think within 60 days, they have to get the solution. Within 90 days, everything should come. If they have applied for the refund, they should get the refund. Well, from where the regulator will get the refund? He can only pass the refund order. And after passing a regulatory refund order, it will go back to the executing authority. Executing authority will auction the properties of the promoter, and the promoter is also debt trapped. He doesn't have any property which he can be auctioned and given. So the RERA will not give. It is not an ATM machine where the money will be available. Similarly, a project which has seen a deadlock for more than 8 years, 10 years, a stalled project with so many issues, whether it is a litigation issues, whether it is a what you call financial issues, whether it is a mismanagement issues, and with so many things that RERA cannot do. Now, let me tell you, from the year 2017, whoever has entered into the real estate business are very well aware that RERA is in place. And because RERA is in place, I need to be very cautious when I'm giving a date of completion. Because if I give a particular date of completion, I have to complete. Otherwise, RERA will take over my business. The allottees will take over my business. I will be nowhere. Secondly, if I commit a particular date, from there, if I don't deliver, I'm liable to pay the delayed interest, which will be, though the money is used in the project, but because I have not delivered in time, I need to give a delayed interest. Now everybody is taking an informed decision. What has happened in the last 15 years, 20 years, which legacy has been inherited by the RERA, therefore, there is expectation mismatch. And let me tell you, I compliment. I'm the Allottees Association. Let me tell you, I'm the chairman of Maharashtra Societies Welfare Association, where the allottees interest is being taken care. And we have gone as an association to Azad Maidan. We have taken a lot of morchas. Believe me, even Fight for RERA, a momentum which was started, in which I was also part, to bring the regulatory authorities in this. But I, being one of the aggrieved person holding that association, I still say that the authorities, whether it is Maharashtra, Goa, or any authorities, they are putting their best efforts, and we have to give them some time to settle down, the clean up the legacy issues, and new project will see the light of the day. Only thing is, now they are not segregating into separate. Old issues should be handled by so many people, and new issues should be handled by somebody else. If even the regulatory authorities are able to do that, I think that also will serve the purpose. But let me again say that good days are going to come. It is when we are controlling the promoter, that means the allottees also are going to be protected. Now you said another thing, which is also equally good. A lot of documentations are expected and demanded from the allottees. The answer is yes. What happens with the allottees? The allottees do not want to take action. Neither they want to write a letter against the promoter. Suppose a promoter is supposed to give a delivery on a particular date. Is it not my duty to write a letter, at least email? But I'm not interested in writing. I will make 100 phone calls. I'll go to the office 100 times. But I'm not minuting what I have done. And that is what RERA precisely is asking. What is the communication that you have done? Suppose a receipt is not given, you are not, till the RERA came in, you never asked for the receipt. You never asked for the delivery. You have not asked for the timeline. You have been believing what he has been saying. And that all moral. Because when it goes to the regulatory authority or a judicial mechanism, they ask for the proof. And not a single email or a single communication from the allottees can be seen in the last 10 years. And all of a sudden, the RERA has come in, and you are saying the promoter has not given for the last 10 years. So that does not work. So therefore, one has to be very careful. Now, as a professionals, we have been advising the allottees. The day which he has said you have met, whatever been discussed, please make a email communication. You put it in writing so that it helps you to take it forward as and when any grievances to be heard. I think that is what I can say. Education, awareness among the allottees is equally important. We cannot blame the authorities anymore. I think you are in mute.
Very, very well said, sir. Vishen bhai, I think
Yes.
just a minute. Pooja is just gone from mute. Bishan bhai, if you can take a
Okay.
question, last question,
Yes.
sir, before we can close then. Bishan bhai.
Harit bhai, I have
Sir.
another question.
Yeah, Pooja.
After Vishen bhai, just give me a chance. I have another question to ask the sir.
Sure.
Okay.
Vishen bhai, you
No, it's okay. Sir, as in Gujarat, we are having specific regulation for redevelopment. So I just want to know whether it is there in Maharashtra or southern state, Vinayji, if you can throw some light on that.
Yeah, Vinay can take it, and then I will tell you.
Sir, can you just repeat? Gujarat RERA has some just
Redevelopment regulations and
Okay.
guidelines on the redevelopment.
Sir, I can say that like Bangalore is a new city post revolution of the ITBT. Bangalore or Karnataka started developing it. Okay, that means the post Y2K or near to Y2K is what we have seen. Bangalore has taken a big jump in the real estate and the big projects started coming. Generally, the redevelopment concept is about 40-50 years. That is what Ramesh Prabhu sir was mentioning in terms of Bombay being the pioneer in the real estate redevelopment concept. Karnataka, we haven't seen, there is no much redevelopment movement here, sir. But days to come, we have some projects. Maybe the project which is more than 40-50 years has to go through this. But there are challenges in the redevelopment unless there is a proper statute which is in place, sir. No, in southern states we do not have, sir. Even at Chennai also we do not have. Chennai being the oldest city, even Chennai doesn't have a redevelopment project, sir.
Okay, just adding on what Vinay has just said. Yes, since the year 1991, Maharashtra in Mumbai, being the oldest city or the growing city and still developing city, there are no green field. Now we have brown field, which means redevelopment is the only option. So since 1991, there is a development control regulations which has permitted. Now in the year 2018, we revamped the entire Mumbai DCPR, and now DCPR means Development Control and Promotion Regulation. Now earlier it was DCR, Development Control Regulation. Now it is Development Control and Promotion Regulation. So we have that for the entire Mumbai, and followed by that, Development Control Regulations, Development Control and Promotion Regulation has been made applicable in the year 2020 for entire Maharashtra. Now the redevelopment is happening not only in Mumbai or extended Mumbai, it is happening across Maharashtra. Of course, under different regulations it is happening. Now you know redevelopment happening under the slum redevelopment. Redevelopment is happening under the old tenanted building. Redevelopment is happening under the Apartment Act. Redevelopment is happening under the the BMC developed land, collector land, that is a government land. Redevelopment is happening in the old government controlled regulated what you call tenancies, and now housing societies which are more than 30 years 40 years old. Redevelopment is happening, and MARERA also has issued a directions, cooperative department has issued a directions, and also the competent authorities, that is under the Maharashtra Regional and Town Planning Act, they also come out with the development and promotion regulations. So I think I'll tell you one more thing. Section 17 of RERA has not been well appreciated by southern states as well as northern states. I would say across India, except Maharashtra, has not accepted that. Section 17 of RERA. And that section 17 of RERA in the Parliament Committee discussion, that was what we presented to the Parliament Committee, that you need to come out with section 17, where the common area has to be given to the Assuming Authority, so that in the days to come, if at all has to be redevelopment has to be done, the common area control, the land control has to be with the society. However, otherwise it is not possible, because now in southern state and northern states, what happens is every allottee gets an undivided share in the land, and he gets the undivided conveyance of the land of the undivided share. And then if there are 100 allottees and 100 people, how they can come together and sign a document for the purpose of redevelopment? That is not possible. So therefore, section 17 says that the common area has to be conveyed. There is a land, entire land and the common area of the building has to be conveyed to the society or the association allottee, so that they will be in a process to have the ownership of the common area, and then they can go for redevelopment. So the RERA also has inbuilt provision for redevelopment. We give a longer answer.
Great, sir. No, but it's really worth listening. Pooja, if you can, we can conclude with your question. Kindly unmute. Kindly unmute.
Okay, now, right? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Vishen sir. Sir, I wanted to ask one question that regarding the structural defect. In Gujrera, they asked that builder has to specify the after this BU, like after receiving the possession. So after receiving the possession, if structural defect comes to the if consumer finds some structural defect in the building, so they can complain RERA to the against the promoter. So for example, if my construction is already done in 2018 and my possession was handed over to the member in 2021. Now in RERA, they says that after handing over the possession, they have 5 years, member has 5 years to complain to the RERA regarding the structural defect. But my BU came in 2018, though my possession was given to the member in 2021. So why this much difference they are counting for the structural defect? Because as soon as my BU comes, my building use is already started. So why they are counting the structural defect from the day of possession and not from the day of BU? That it might be possible that my building, my property gets sold after 10 years of receiving BU. So again, after 10 years, more 5 years, I have to count for my safety if I'm a promoter. So this concerns always the promoter has in their mind. So can you just explain how to do this, how to tackle?
Yeah. Pooja,
Yes, sir.
you have raised a valid question on behalf of the promoter, but
Thanks.
you are looking to from the allottee's angle. Now, what happens is that there are two types of possession which is handed over. One, a promoter has hand over the possession of the apartment, okay, which the allottee has purchased. The second, he also gives a common area possession under section 17 after the assessment allottees are done and the building completion is taken, and whatever allottees apartment he has to sell, everything is done. Thereafter, he hands over the possession of the common area and the title of the common area thereafter. Now, let us assume you are an allottee. Pooja is an allottee, and building is constructed about 10 years back, and the promoter had kept it for the price appreciation, and you purchase as against 2020 when the building was completed. In the year 2030, you purchase after 10 years. Now, you have paid the full money in the year 2030. Now, in that particular flat, if there is a leakage from the upper floor, and if there is a ceiling leakage, if there are beam problems, the structural defects in your own flat, are you not entitled to claim compensation or getting it repaired within the next 5 years? So at least there should be an assurance of 5 years to the allottee that this is an instrument which is not like electronic bulb, which may have a life of 2 minutes or 10 minutes or 10 days, 10 months. We don't know. It is not a small commodity you are buying. A life of the real estate is about 100 years. Now forget about 100 years. You talk about 5 years and you are saying 5 years is an issue. Then you are not worth being a developer. You are not worth being a promoter. You suppose an allottee has taken by paying crores of rupees, lakhs of rupees of his hard-earned money, and not only mortgaging the future earnings, 4 times of his income he has taken. So therefore, I'm saying 5 years is too less. Rather, I would say it should be made 50 years, because the structure, the stability is 100 years. At least let them assure for 50 years. And this is my call as an allotee. Now I'm speaking from the other angle. So therefore, 5 years from the date of handing over the position has been made, because the allotee takes the position as and when he receives, and it cannot be said 5 years का पहले का बिल्डिंग है या उसका डिफेक्ट है, तो बिकॉज ओसी 5 साल का पहले आया, ऑक्यूपेशन सर्टिफिकेट 5 साल के आया, अभी आप लिया तो इसके बाद जिम्मेदारी आपका ही है, अलॉटी का, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. सिमिलरली कॉमन एरिया, whether it is a clubhouse, garden, compound, or drainage, whatever is being handled, or STP, DG set, fire equipments, so many things which are handed over. From the day it is handed over to the associate allotee for the management, thereafter if there is a defect, next 5 years he has to take care. That means it is better for him to hand over the common areas or the apartment to the allotee as early as possible, so that he will be out. So you should not be delaying it. So I said, again, I am saying it should be at least 50 years, not 5 years. Thank you. Vinay, you can add.
See, I would like to mention in terms of the structural defect, if you feel that 5 years is too harsh on the developer, I don't think that that type of constructions which are happening nowadays. Have you seen any building which is collapsed because of the structural stability? I haven't seen any project, any building, except where the people have violated in the larger cities in terms of the additional floors they have construction. Otherwise, I haven't seen any building which has collapsed because of this. Whatever we see, it may looks very harsh on the developer about the structural defect liability of 5 years. I'll tell you, I take a session on the structural stability for 1 day for one promoter in terms of what do you mean by structural stability, what documentation a promoter should have it, how to handle, how to communicate it to the allottees, or what does my responsibility. It doesn't mean that I have a door, I will not give a 5 years of warranty for a door. Whatever the manufacturer gives, I'll hand over the warranty card to him. I have a plumbing material, I'll hand it over to the plumbing warranty card. I have a Lisha switches, I have a Roma switches, I hand over the warranty card. As a promoter, I have used a particular brand which is part of my specification and hand over the particular warranty card supplied by the promoter or the supplier. That where it ends. In case of physical structure where there is a crack in the building or which may be a slightly which warranted some major, then only it comes into a play. And also see that like the extreme locations which has a very hottest days, Delhi, and very coldest days in the winter. Obviously, any building will goes in terms of expansion and the contraction. Of course, now engineering has all the possibility of considering all those while constructing. I don't think structural stability would be a harsh on the developer if somebody really understood the intent of the act. Number one. Second is the way they communicated to the allottees. Absolutely, there is no difference, except it maybe it gives much more confidence to the allottees. Now I have a 5 years now warranty period. I have a defect liability of 5 years. That is a marketing tool. It should be a marketing tool for a promoter to sell it, not in terms of getting agitated with that. That is what is my view.
So, sir, the
Thank you, sir.
Means structure means they consider it just the engineering stuff, the building, on which the building is constructed, or plaster and coloring and everything comes into the structural defect.
So, if you read specifically,
yeah, go ahead, Vinay.
Yeah,
I'll just add only 1 minute. See, Pooja, well, it is not only structural; it talks about workmanship.
Workmanship.
So the workmanship includes even defect in plastering, painting, or leveling, everything, or even putting a tiles. If the tiles are not properly put, and after 3 months, 6 months, the tiles started going away, then that is a workmanship, defects in the workmanship. You have used the wrong cement. So that's it.
Okay, sir.
So actually 14.3, section 14.3 says that in case of a structural defect or any other defect in case of a workmanship, quality of the materials or a provision of services or any other obligations of the promoter, it doesn't stop only the physical structure. However, wear and tear is excluded. One will not come back and say that my one tile is broken, or maybe one switch is not working functional. Somebody with a good note, he can come back and ask a promoter. It is not with the demand of you do it. And I'm sure that somebody will go to a authority to file a complaint that my project has a defect. He has to prove beyond reasonableness to say that it really a defect. It is not due to wear and tear. It is not due to mishandling of any of those items. It is not so easy, Pooja. As I told, it is actually a benefit to the promoter rather than looking at other way.
That's true, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And as we all are aware that in real estate, builders doesn't sell the property, they sell the dream. And
Yeah.
those dreams always come true when there will be a regulator. Along with the regulator, there are efficient consultants. And sir, Ramesh Prabhu sir, we feel that you are the Bhishma Pitama of this real estate group of experts. And sir, you spared your time, you enlighten us, you deliberated and share your experience. We at Ahmedabad branch of WRC of ICI are very much thankful to you, and we request you on with folded hands, sir. We always try to come at our forum, and we will definitely going to have some real estate conclave and would like to invite you at that time. Vinayji, being a focus person, Arjuna, who is having knowledge of pan-India based RERA laws. So, sir, thank you for your valuable time and enlightening us, discussing the issues. And yes, to our member of RERA help desk, Pooja Shah, thanks for coming and deliberating and discussing various issues. And one and all, our chairman, CA Harit Dhariwal,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
who is so
I'll-
visionary. And sir, this whole program has been designed and vision of our chairman.
No, sir,
Thank
I
you
think
very
I'll
much,
just
sir,
add
and
on to what
thanks
Vishnu
all
bhai
the
said.
participants. Yes,
Sir,
sir.
thank you so much. All the participants, it was a wonderful learning 5 days for all of us. Let us not stop here. RERA series is just a beginning. You can start your professional journey with this, and whatever queries you have, we have already formed a RERA help desk. You can get back to us. Our expert faculty will definitely revert to them. So let us take it as a new professional opportunity for all of us and have a great learning. Thank you so much, Ramesh Prabhu sir and Vinay ji for
Thank
joining
you.
today. And we hope to see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
so
We are
much.
ending
Thank
this.
you.
We are ending this virtual meeting. Goodbye. Good night.